I want to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself when you answer it. Have you ever built real momentum, posted consistently, got the views, got the engagement, got the DMs, got the calls, and then stopped? Have you ever been this close to something breaking open? The algorithm started working. People started sharing. Your inbox started filling up. And then you got quiet? Have you ever had a season where everything was working and you found a reason to walk away from it? If that's you, I need you to stay right here. Because what I'm about to tell you is something nobody in your life has probably had the guts to say out loud. It wasn't burnout. It wasn't timing. It wasn't the algorithm. You did that. And I know because I did it too, more than once. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Brinkley Potts. Yesterday we talked about the identity crisis underneath the job crisis, the layoffs, the AI displacement, the fact that millions of people built their entire financial lives around institutions that are now restructuring them out. Today we're going deeper because the real problem isn't out there. The real problem is this pattern, this recurring pattern that keeps brilliant people cycling through momentum and disappearance, breakthrough and retreat, visibility and hiding. And I'm going to call it exactly what it is today. This is about imposter syndrome, but not the version you've heard about. Not the, oh, I just have low self-esteem version. I'm talking about the high performer version. The one that lives inside people who have every reason in the world to be confident and still find a way to shrink. Here's what they don't tell you about imposter syndrome. It doesn't hit people who are failing. It hits people who are winning. Studies show that as many as 82% of people have experienced it. But the ones who feel it most intensely, the ones it hits the hardest, are the high achievers, the people at the top, the ones with the track record, the titles, the results, the rooms they've been invited into. The more you achieve, the louder it gets. Think about it. You get the promotion, and your first thought is how long before they figure out I'm not as good as they think. You land the speaking opportunity, and you spend 3 weeks over preparing, not because you don't know your content, but because you're terrified one mistake will expose you. You put out a piece of content that goes viral, and instead of celebrating, you're waiting for someone to leave a comment that confirms your deepest fear, that you don't deserve this. That's not a confidence problem. That's a pattern. And here's what makes it dangerous for people like us, people who are smart, self-aware, accomplished. We're very, very good at disguising it. We don't look like people who doubt ourselves. We show up, we deliver, we exceed expectations. We smile in the meeting and then go home and wonder how long we can keep the performance going. Researchers call it intellectual phoniness, the internal experience of feeling like a fraud, even when everything around you is evidence that you are exactly the real deal. And it doesn't go away when you succeed more. That's the trap. Because you keep thinking one more certification, one more degree, one more credential, one more year of experience, then I'll feel ready. Then I'll feel I earned the right to be visible. But it doesn't work that way because the issue was never your qualifications. The issue is what you believe you're allowed to be. I need to tell you something about my own story, something I don't talk about enough. Between 2011 and 2014, I had over 1 million direct-to-camera video views. I knew how to show up. I knew how to connect. I knew how to make a message land with an audience. And then I went quiet. Not because the content stopped working, not because the audience disappeared, not because I ran out of things to say. I went quiet because something in me was terrified of what came next. I had learned through years of watching how people respond to visible, powerful women, specifically Black women who take up space unapologetically, that there's a tax on visibility. People start watching more closely, start looking for the crack, start waiting for the misstep so they can confirm whatever story they already had about whether you belong in the spotlight. And somewhere in my body, not even consciously at first, I decided it was safer to be the force behind the scenes than the face out front. I became the secret weapon, brilliant at building other people's empires, indispensable in other people's rooms, strategic, skilled, trusted, and absolutely invisible in my own story. And here's what I want you to understand, because this is the part that's been following you too. Hiding feels like humility, but it's not. Hiding feels responsible, measured, like you're not being arrogant, like you're staying in your lane, like you're being a team player. But what it's actually doing is costing you every single day. It's costing you the clients who needed to find you but couldn't because you weren't visible. It's costing you the speaking fees, the consulting contracts, the program enrollments that never happened because you kept waiting until you felt ready. It's costing the people who needed your specific wisdom, your specific story, your specific hard-won lessons, who went and paid someone else who knew less than you, but showed up louder. And this is what breaks my heart about imposter syndrome at this level. It's not just personal, it's consequential. Let me break down where this pattern actually lives, because once you see it, really see it, you can't unsee it. Researchers who study this say it comes from a very specific place. Most of us grew up in environments where our worth was tied to our performance. You got love when you got the A. You got approval when you exceeded the expectation. You got accepted when you produced something worthy of acceptance. So we learned in our bones, before we were old enough to question it, that our value is something we have to earn and keep earning. And that belief doesn't stay in childhood. It follows you into every boardroom, every pitch, every piece of content you post, every offer you put out. It whispers, you haven't earned the right to be this visible yet. And then there's another layer, one that specifically affects the people in this audience. The researchers at UCLA put it plainly. They said imposter syndrome is intensified by being the only one in the room, the only woman, the only person of color, the only one without the pedigree, the youngest, the one without the degree from the right school. When you are the only one who looks like you, thinks like you, came from where you came from, the pressure doubles. Because now you're not just afraid of failing yourself. You're afraid of confirming someone else's bias about whether people like you belong there at all. And so you do what smart people do. You over-prepare. You over-deliver. You work twice as hard to earn half the assumption of competence. You stay in the background because the background feels safer than the spotlight. And you call it professionalism. But I want to call it what it actually is. It's self-erasure in slow motion. And here's what I need you to understand about the economy we're sitting in right now. We talked yesterday about the 1.2 million job cuts in 2025. The 1,621 companies that have announced layoffs just since January. The AI wave reshaping knowledge work. I need you to understand something. The background is no longer safe. The people who stay invisible, who stay the secret weapon, who stay behind the scenes, who stay dependent on someone else's institution for their income and their identity, those are the people most exposed right now. The people who are protected in this economy are the ones who have built their own thing, their own IP, their own audience, their own income stream that doesn't require anyone's permission to continue. Staying hidden used to feel like protection, but right now, in 2026, it's a liability. So how do you break it? Because I'm not here just to name the problem. I'm here to hand you the thing that actually moves you out. The first thing I want to say is this. Your doubt is not evidence of incompetence. It is evidence that you care. Researchers found something that stopped me cold when I read it. True imposters, people who are actually fraudulent, actually unqualified, rarely experience imposter syndrome. They're usually too confident to question themselves. The very fact that you're sitting here watching this, wondering if you're good enough, is proof that you are. Because people who don't care about doing excellent work don't lose sleep over whether they deserve the platform. You do. That matters. But caring is not enough. Caring without action is just private suffering. So here's the second thing. The pattern breaks when you stop waiting for the feeling and start moving with the decision. Imposter syndrome is designed to keep you waiting until you feel ready, waiting until you have one more credential, waiting until the timing is perfect, waiting until you know enough, have enough, are enough. That day is not coming. And I say that not to be hard on you, but to set you free. Because the people who have built things, real things, lasting things, income producing things from their expertise did not wait until the feeling went away. They decided. They decided that what they know is worth being paid for. They decided that their story is worth being told. They decided that the world needs their specific brilliance, not the polished, perfect, credentials-approved version of it, but the actual living, breathing, hard-won version. And the third thing, and this is where no net worth comes in. The fastest way to break the pattern of hiding is to package what you know. Here's why. When your expertise lives only in your head, it's invisible to you and to everyone else. But when you write the book, when you build the curriculum, when you name the framework, when you create the program, something shifts. It becomes real, not just to your audience, to you. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard someone go through the process of packaging their expertise and say, I didn't realize how much I actually knew until I had to explain it. That's the magic. The act of packaging it is the act of claiming. And claiming is what breaks the hiding pattern for good. Here's what I want you to do right now. If this video hits you, if you felt yourself in the pattern I described today, I want you to do one thing before you close this tab. Write down one piece of expertise that you've been given away for free. One thing people come to you for. One problem you solve without even thinking about it. One question you get constantly. Just one. That's your starting point. That is the seed of your no net worth. I wrote an entire book about this process and how to excavate what you already know, name it, package it, build income streams from it. It's called No Net Worth, Unearthing Your Intellectual Wealth. The link is in the description. It's $29.99. You get free shipping and the ebook lands in your inbox immediately so you can start reading today. And if you're past the book, if you already know what you have and you're ready to build the actual program, the actual offer, the actual business around your expertise, Trailblazers Incubator is open right now at its founding price, $2,000. Not because what I'm teaching is worth $2,000. It goes to $6,000 after the first 50 cents. Because I believe in rewarding people who are ready to move now, who see the window and step through it instead of standing outside wondering if they deserve to come in. The link to book a clarity call is in the description. 20 minutes, real conversation, no pressure. I want to leave you with something one of the researchers said that I keep coming back to. They said, true imposters rarely suffer from imposter syndrome. They are usually too confident to question their own abilities. The very fact that you are worried about your competence suggests that you care deeply about the quality of your work. Read that again. The doubt is not in the problem. What you do with the doubt, that's the question. You can let it keep you hiding, or you can let it remind you that you care enough to do this right, and then do it anyway. Yesterday, I talked about the world burning down the institution you were trained to trust. Today, I'm talking about the internal work that has to happen for you to build something that belongs to you instead. Both things are true. Both things are urgent. And both things are exactly why I'm showing up here every single day for the next 30 days. This is not a content series. This is a movement. Come back tomorrow. Bring someone with you. And if this hits you somewhere real, share it. Because somebody in your network is sitting in the same silence and they need to hear that they're not alone in it. Let's go.